Hey Pisces, and welcome to your December 2018 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky here to give you guys hopefully another amazing reading for your month ahead. Such a defining, transformative, regenerative, and balancing month for you, Pisces. I feel your energy so strongly. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being open, and thank you for taking the time to check out this video. I hope you'll get the chance to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I have a lot of fun content coming up, and all of my details are in the description box below. Check out my Jupiter Strong products. They're really good. Yeah, all that's below. But I really love what's coming forward for you all. I'm even not mad at the moon as your central theme this month. It really is indicative of a lot, and I feel like you are just so strong right now, actually. I feel like your strength is growing, and I feel like your pain is decreasing. I feel like you're starting to see things more the way that they are for you. I don't think that you're afraid of working for what you want now, and I don't think that you're afraid to walk away from what's holding you back. There's been such a strong transformation and so much luck and abundance and benevolence coming in. Jupiter in Sagittarius can truly be wonderful for you. A very whimsical, exciting, humorous, and emotionally leveling time period, I feel, comes for you on account of it. There can be a bit of conflict and a bit of tension, as well as it is a square angle that happens, but I don't feel that it has to be that way for you unless you need tension to thrive as a person, which, you know, we've all been there. But I really feel that this month is a quickening time for you as you are ascending really quickly, and you are just really seeing things clearly if you want to. And you're seeing things the way that you want to see things this month, which most of the time is a really wonderful thing. Like, you're not letting other people have control over your vision and over your concepts in general, so that's really wonderful. You know, there's positive and negative coming up, but what comes as a result of this negative experience that you might be having during December is such a positive and less painful experience that it's almost hard for you to perhaps imagine. So do not fear coming into this month, because you are much stronger than you might give yourself credit for. I do feel with Eight of Cups, the Moon, Five of Swords reversed, Two of Wands reversed, that you may be one of the signs who is called to walk away from pain this month, to walk away from a situation that has been not good for you in the long run. You know, situations that feel safe or protected in the moment, but come with a lot of volatility, a lot of polarity, and in the long run create a stressful environment that introduces dis-ease into your environment. That's been a big concept that I've been working with this month. Not disease like an illness, but dis-ease, which of course can manifest as an illness or manifest as what we think of disease. But this is a month where you can walk towards ease and away from dis-ease, and a month where you can balance and find a center within your body where ease can be easy, you know, where things can be easy and things don't have to be so complex and over polarized and too volatile. You're definitely working with control dynamics this month. You're working with forging your own reality, with creating your own independence, with creating your own new emotional realm. All of these things are coming up for you, and it's so beautiful. What's on the other side of it is so beautiful, but you'll see as you're working towards that all of the factors or aspects of the past that didn't want to see you there start to go into a bit of a frenzy. And that can be hard for Pisces to directly confront, because you're not the most confrontational energy. But I will say, when Pisces has the absolutely most terrifying temper of the zodiac. It's rare. It's not something that Pisces, you know, unless you've got like a lot of Aries or Scorpio or Leo or something that like makes your temper more Marsy and more like easy to access. But a Pisces wave, like a Neptune wave of temper, is not something that can be avoided, and it's not something that can necessarily be survived either. So I'm not encouraging you to be temperamental, but I want you to remember your strength, and I want you to remember that when you point your waves or your direction, when you point your motivation towards one thing and you get behind it, like, there's no stopping you. And I want you to stand in that power, and I don't want you to feel powerless, because sometimes Pisces feels powerless and it feels like it's at the disposal of other people and at the disposal of the universe. That is true sometimes, but when it's right, when it's necessary, nothing can stop you, Pisces. So I want you to remember that as you're realizing what you need to move towards this month, and when you might see some of the boundaries or obstacles there. Also, as another intuitive message before we get into the week to week, don't take away from your creative ability right now. There's perhaps blockages happening in creativity. It's not that the creative energy is not there, but I see you feeling like it's not worthwhile, or it feels like you don't have enough time, or there's something that's like not enjoying elbow grease, or like working. This could also be your job. Eight of Pentacles reversed, Two of Wands reversed. To me, that's like, I'm not enjoying what I'm doing. I'm not enjoying the work that I'm having to do, and I feel lazy, but I'm just not enjoying it. That is not coming from your work, Pisces. That is coming from your relationship with your home, your relationship with your self, and your relationship with your own authenticity. Queen of Pentacles is reversed in your reading. It says to me that any lack of creativity or lack of energy, lack of desire to produce or create is coming from within the body, and from within the home, like within the like material walls and energy within your home. So definitely look to that aspect of your life before you want to change, your creative output, before you want to change your job, or before you want to change what you're actually working with, because it's not that you don't enjoy that. It's that you don't really have the energy to do much of anything, based on some of the traumas that have happened. And, you are encouraged to move away and to, go into Eight of Cups with that, I feel. Okay, Pisces, I'm going to go ahead and get into the week to week so we can see what more clearly is coming up for you. Week number 1, you have Two of Wands reversed, rooted down by Eight of Cups. So that's quite conflicting, because Two of Wands is actually kind of a similar energy to Eight of Cups. It's all about looking at the world and thinking, where do I want to go? Being in the powerful place of deciding all of the chapters of your life with sovereignty, like being in sovereign control over your life. And Eight of Cups is about following through on that and then making the journey that is required to fulfill that sovereign choice. And those two things feel at odds to me. And this is a theme that has been coming up for nearly everyone this month, is sort of confusing parallels being at odds with one another. For example, with Capricorn and Aquarius, it was like money philosophy not matching up with security philosophy. Therefore, you can never really have financial abundance without putting off your security abundance, or you can never have security without putting off your financial abundance, if that makes sense. And you can check those videos to understand more about that concepting. It's not really that for you. For you, Pisces, it's about making your own decisions, about free will, and about choosing to believe in your direction and trusting yourself to follow through. Like, you might feel like, okay, I want to make this move, or I want to change whatever it is in my life, but I don't trust that I will be abundant enough to actually thrive in that situation. Like, I'm afraid of leaving my job, or I'm afraid of leaving my house, and I'm afraid that I'll get into the next place and just be faced with the same problem. All of those types of complex secondhand choices have to kind of fall away right now, because I feel that it is necessary for you to make some kind of motion. And it doesn't mean you have to do something grand. It doesn't mean that you have to do some kind of huge, crazy thing. But you've got to trust your direction this month, because you've not been trusting it for a while. And perhaps you have grown in certain ways by having forced yourself to stay in a certain situation. But I do feel that it has introduced some type of dis-ease into your life, where you are not comfortable walking away from things, but not comfortable being in them either. So it's sort of this purgatory type of experience. Purgatory type of experiences emerge when neutrality has been played up, okay? So when you've overplayed neutrality versus decisions that you felt like you needed to have the safe option, if that makes sense. So this isn't really a time of safety. Jupiter in Scorpio kind of wanted to be, but now that we have Jupiter in Sag, it's not so much about the safe choice, it's about the right choice, okay? It's about the choice that doesn't take away from our own motivations in life. So you're going to be very motivated in the month of December, and moving it through 2019, Pisces, motivation will become stronger and stronger. So I would hone in on that, and I would trust that motivation to breed more motivation into your life, no doubt. Trust yourself in the first week. Trust what you feel like you need to get away from, and trust your own sovereign choice and instinct, okay? Week number 2, you have Queen of Pentacles reversed, rooted down by the Emperor reversed. Yeah, you're not feeling in charge of your life. You're not feeling like you have control over your realm, over your reality, like really strong, really hardcore. And I don't know whether this is because you're in a relationship with a controlling person, or whether you're afraid of being in the driver's seat, afraid to make your own decisions, because then you have to deal with the consequences, or what are the perceived consequences. It's usually always both because, yes, if you're in a relationship with a controlling person, it's important to get out of that. But at the same time, the only way that you can get out of that and not fall into the same type of dynamic again is to realize how you were scared to take the driver's seat yourself, and realize how, of course, it's not your fault if you find yourself in an abusive relationship or if you've been abused or something. Like, that's not your fault. But you have to see how your energy didn't see that and at the same time accepted it at some point in time. And that's going to be different for everyone. That's not going to apply for everyone. There are some absolute victims in life, it is true, but it is rare, okay? And I need you to be able to see, okay, maybe I was an absolute victim, but maybe also I was desperately afraid of control. So I gave it over to someone else without realizing. And I need you to see that, Pisces. You are the most likely sign to find yourself being controlled in a relationship, to find yourself out of control, to find yourself victimized in some way or in abusive cycles. It is very easy for your energy because it attracts that type of complex, the person who wants to be in control, just on account of being so mutable and adaptable. Sometimes people who are abusive or fall into, the controller role, unrealizingly seek out someone who's very adaptable because they know that they can adapt to their own control mechanisms. And, sometimes even controllers or people who are being abusive in that way don't even realize that they're being that way until it's really brought up. And Pisces isn't one to really confront things. So it also prolongs the unawareness of the controller that they are being in an abusive role. So that's why the Pisces and controller person dynamic can flourish for much longer than other connections, is because of that. And this is all about what you're dealing with, because that has to fall away for the next year, Pisces. No controlling relationships, no relationship dynamics where you are against your will being controlled and taken in some way. All right. And because if you are, you won't really be able to accept in the benevolence and abundance of Jupiter in the same way. And some of you can be saved for it. You can see that this controlling, abusive person just suddenly doesn't want to be with you anymore. But are you going to be upset about that? Jump for joy if all of a sudden someone who has been really controlling doesn't want to be with you anymore. Don't try to keep them just because you're afraid of being on your own. I know these are tough if I could talk, Pisces, I can't even talk. It's hard to talk through this because your energy is so deep, so vast, and so wrapped up in weird ways regarding these types of concepts. How nice wouldn't it be, Pisces, to be in control of yourself and in control of your own experiences? And how nice it would be to not doubt that you can do that successfully. Think in the second week about what you can do to introduce more authentic independence and sovereign nature. It keeps coming back to the word sovereign nature over your own life in the second week, and see what control dynamics are there. You're very perceptive. You see these types of things. Sometimes it's subtle. Sometimes it's not so obvious. Sometimes you don't just realize, oh, that person's trying to control and abuse me. Sometimes they don't realize that they're trying to control and abuse you. It's about, because if it were that easy, we wouldn't find ourselves in these situations, or at least we would find ourselves in them much less frequently. So you have to be able to see those subtleties, and you have to be able to notice that in the second week, and also be able to notice if it's not there. Don't create it out of nothing. But by seeing that in the second week, you'll start making the proper arrangements to find yourself in a more healthy place. Week number 3, you have 8 of Pentacles reversed, rooted down by Page of Cups reversed. So yes, 2 straight weeks there of complete reversals. So lots of new perspectives emerging, lots of seeing things from a different way, and even some things falling out of favor with you, or some things that you didn't expect falling in favor with you. You are definitely honing in on how you're using your energy in the third week, what you're creating, what you're using your hands to create. Perhaps a hobby or a creative project that you've been working on for a long time is not calling you as much as it used to, and you're feeling distressed about that. You're not feeling the emotional motivation behind either your job or your creative project. And for some of you, it could even be your relationship. You're where's my motivation? Why am I here? What am I doing here? Why are they there? What is their motivation? You're very tuned in to people's motivation and why you do what you do. You're becoming very philosophical, Pisces, which no wonder. It's Jupiter and Sag, but you've got to prioritize time for that. Maybe give some time for meditation, think about people's motivations, think about your motivations, but don't let these sort of odd neutral answers that you come to prevent you from taking on new creative projects, because you have so much creative energy. And yes, it does need a bit of healing. Perhaps it's been a bit sapped from the control dynamics and from the traumas of years past, but it is coming back, and it's much stronger than you're giving it credit for. But you also have to understand that you emote differently now as well. Your emotional complexes as a person, Pisces, are quite changed and quite different, and you may have in the past like seen, okay, when I get motivated, when I have desire, when I want to pursue a goal, I have this type of emotional experience or this type of feeling when I do that. And you're going to see that that's different now, and you're going to think, okay, I don't have that feeling. Does that mean that I can't accomplish this? Okay, I need you to think less about that and think more towards the accomplishment of the goal, because Pisces, like achieving something and finishing something and doing something with completion, is an extremely karmically healing thing right now. It's not to say that you have to push yourself or that you have to make yourself do something that just feels absolutely terrible, because for some of you it will be that. Some of you just need to stop what you're doing or need a change, but some of you are also kind of like just overwhelmed that your feelings are so different about things now and you don't really know how to react to it. So make sure that what you stop or what you walk away from is right, but make sure also that you walk away from something that you need to walk away from. So it's that sort of balance that's hard, and that's what it's all about. You know, fourth week, Temperance, rooted down by Five of Swords reversed. The sources of your imbalance come from and I don't really like to say things like this, come from having been taken advantage of, because I don't want to put you in victimhood, and I don't want you to associate too much with victimhood, because it's good, and you have to, when you've been victimized, you have to associate with it somewhat, but then in and of itself can become a debilitating cycle. Yes, the lack of balance comes from someone in your life, and do you know who they are? Do you know who they were? Okay, I hope you've been able to establish that, and I hope you're not oblivious right now, because Pisces can tend to be oblivious in this type of, Neptune in Pisces, Saturn in Capricorn, Jupiter in Scorpio especially. But as Jupiter moves into Sag, it should like wake you up. There should be like a moment where you wake up and you realize, okay, this is what this person means to me. This is what this job means to me. And you sort of realize, and that could be a little bit delayed. And that'll probably happen whenever Jupiter squares your sun directly. So for those of you Pisces born on the cusp of Aquarius and Pisces, that's going to be happening for you in this month. For those of you born later and like more towards Pisces Aries cusp, it's going to be later and throughout 2019 that happens. But it can really happen anytime, it's just about you like seeing clearly and like accepting the truth of the matter. But it will happen regardless when Jupiter squares your sun. So yes, seeing the sources of imbalance, seeing what you couldn't even interpret as difficult but was actually a major sinking factor in your life is an important thing in the fourth week. Also hydrating yourself, keeping yourself around water, keeping your body healthy, good sleep regimens and self-love cycles, meditation, stillness to some degree is important. I also say with the Temperance card, like alkaline diets, not eating too acidic of food. It's really important to cleanse the soul and the body simultaneously and vicariously through one another. Okay, your central theme is the moon, which kind of offsets everything in a bit of a different light. So there is a tendency to maybe see things with rose-colored glasses, which is a wonderful quality if used in the right way. But there will come a time where you're unable to rose up the codependent, control-oriented, angry relationships that you have, and not all of you have those right now, but some of you do. And I just want you to know that this is a time where you still can, like, you can still have it, you can still do it, but it will not take you very far to see things clearly and to use this like ability to see things in a different light on your creative project or on your own self-ascension is the encouragement. But you can also use that on people who are taking advantage of you and think, wow, those are really great people, or wow, that person did this for me. That means that it's okay for them to be the way that they are now. Watch out for that. And as another note, you might just be feeling a bit nocturnal this month. Like, okay, I want to be out in the nighttime and I want to be learning at nighttime. I do feel that this is a period of time where it is encouraged, not possible for all water signs, but it's encouraged to find circadian rhythms that are healthy. So sleeping at night, being awake during the day, that's been very difficult for me. I am a night owl. I am a nocturnal person, but I've seen that it's important to at least make efforts to at least be sleeping at some point in the night and awake at some point during the day. As most of us have to be, for those of us who work, but you can see that you're like not getting much sleep at all if you're not careful. So definitely prioritize sleep and prioritize, I want to say for you Pisces, a fluid sense of regiment. What a beautiful concept for Pisces, fluid sense of regiment. It's not that you're harshly forcing yourself and corralling yourself into certain like time slots. Not good for Pisces. That's for your opposite Virgo, not your territory. But fluidly realizing like, okay, it's time for me to sleep. Like you'll kind of see like, oh, I want to stay up. I want to drink coffee. Or I want to stay up and I want to watch this show or whatever it is. But you'll realize that your body's actually kind of like, but I'd really like to sleep. And through fluidly allowing that to actually happen, you heal so much during this time. So apply that to your eating, your sleeping, your exercise, your job, your projects, and you will see that things just really fluidly fall into place. Okay, Pisces, I'm wishing you so much love and light. Your energy is so like whimsical and so eclectic and eccentric right now. It's really beautiful. There's just a few things to get like straightened out, a few loose ends to tie up relating to control dynamics and relating to sovereign ability, relating to balance within the body and the mind and the soul. And you will tie them up easier than you think that you will. And don't be afraid to take the action that you need to take. It's okay to be direct. It's okay to confront. It's not always in your nature, but it is required at a karmic healing level. Anyway, Pisces, so much love and light. I so appreciate your subscribes, likes, and comments. Check out your sun, moon, rising sign. All of my details are in the description box below. Check out the Jupiter Strong products. I really love them. There's a discount code. I created them, and they're really just a wonderful, tangible reminder of the well-placed Jupiter that we have right now and that we can thrive. You know, even if you're having a difficult day, you know, throw on the Jupiter Strong shirt and you're like, yeah, Jupiter's in a good place. And it reminds you to keep optimistic, you know. So that'll be in the center of the screen as well as in the description box below. Check it out, and I will be talking to you guys soon. Much love. Bye.